Hello.
Hello.
My name's Andy. I run Conundrum Press, and so welcome to all of you for the Conundrum Cavalcade. I guess this is the first stop on the Conundrum Cavalcade. And the point behind the Conundrum Cavalcade is to launch 3 wonderful books that I've had the pleasure of publishing, and the artists are here tonight. 2 from Halifax, Chris Burton and Alexander Forbes. The Case of the Missing Men, a wonderful graphic novel. They're going to be presenting later and showing you their process. Sherwin Tija, you are Alice in Wonderland's mom. This is hard to say. The author of the Pick a Plot trilogy, You Are a Cat trilogy, which we have copies out in the lobby. All these books are out in the lobby, I should say. And so he's going to do a presentation. And then I edited a book on called Vedic Q, Essays and Interviews on Quebec Comics, which is exactly what it sounds like. And I will give a very short description of what it is. But we've flown in Billy Magreus, who's a Quebec cartoonist, and he will do a presentation on his work. So we have 3 presentations, and Sarah Pound will play music for us. But most importantly, our host tonight is a local luminary and a small-town theater god, Mike Butler. And so he's going to come up here.
Our first presenter, are you all ready down there? Yes, good.
Turn off my phone.
Oh, and he listened. Excellent. Our first presenter is Sherwin Sullivan Tija. Yes. Born in Toronto, but currently living in the city of Montreal. Sherwin, as you can read in the back of his beautiful, pocket-sized pick-a-plot novel, you can take this thing anywhere with you. He is a well-renowned and celebrated writer and illustrator. He's dabbled in graphic design and has won many awards for his illustrative work. The work seriously speaks for itself, folks. This man is brilliant with his artistic ability and his way to tell a story. Multiple stories, actually. I still haven't found a happy ending. It's bringing me down. Sherwin has gained quite a bit of notoriety for the events that he invents, including crowd karaoke nights and strict spelling bees. This is what you can ask him afterwards. And having the job of introducing this very interesting, versatile, and talented man properly is almost impossible because of his many attributes. So instead of listening to me, I am honored to bring to the stage to showcase his incredible work, Sherwin Tija.
Sorry, I'm going to pull this off. I'm a little nervous, so please forgive me if I stumble over everything constantly. Welcome. So I'm here. I'm from Montreal. I wrote this book, and you'll notice that it's number 4 in the pick-up plot. So how do I should probably just tell. Is it Jamie? Should I just say slide when I would like the next slide? What's that?
Or just point at the screen.
Oh, okay. Can I just say slide? So you'll notice that, this is the first in the series. It's they're all choose your own adventure books from the point of view of various characters. This one is from the point of view of a cat named Holden Catfield, and this was the first one in the series, and it's followed up by Slide. You Are a Cat in the Zombie Apocalypse. This is the sequel, also starring Holden Catfield, and then it's followed by Slide. You Are a Kitten, a prequel, and at this point, the cat is not known as Holden Catfield, but instead Shithead, because it's born to these awful people, but you'll discover that when you buy the book. So here's the map of the Alice book. Hopefully there are no spoilers there, but can you go to the next slide, please? And here's the map of the, I believe, you are a cat in the zombie apocalypse. And it was too long, so I had to cut certain branches, which are the ones that are highlighted. And can you go slide, please? And this is before I became a professional at this. This is the map for the first cat book. But I also wanted Charles Dodgson, and his pen name is, for those of you who don't know, Lewis Carroll, who wrote Alice in Wonderland. I wanted Charles Dodgson to be a character in this book as well, because I wanted to blend fact and fiction. So that's Charles Dodgson in the dodo mask on the right. And he has a very interesting role in the book, which I will not spoil at this point. I'm going to take you very quickly through one illustration. So this is the little sketch I did after I finished writing the manuscript. And then slide, please. This is my partner posing for a photo, which I then composited with a picture I took in a park. And then just kind of sketched in all the details. And then slide, please. And then this is the final illustration in the book itself. Slide, please. And then finally, if you do buy the book, I don't know if any of you have seen those the Marvel movies, the superhero movies, but if you wait through the credits, there's always a secret scene that at the end, that the true fans know about, and then they wait for it so they can get a little teaser. And I have a secret ending to the book, and you only find out about it if you're here tonight, or if you read all the way to the end of the acknowledgments that I tell you to turn to page 69. And slide, please. And that is the end. Thank you very much.
Andy moved from Montreal to Whittle 7 years ago, which corresponded to the editorial mandate of the press to switch to graphic novels. He's very in tune with what's happening on the graphic novel scene, and I'm really thankful that he's asked me to be a part of tonight's event. The whole reason we are here tonight, please give a round of applause to Mr. Andy Brown.
So I have, over the course of my publishing career, I've published all sorts of types of books, and I have been drawn very much to comics, especially European comics, especially the Franco-Belgian tradition, much of which isn't in translation, and my French is very poor, and also, of course, a lot of it in Quebec. So I started out in Montreal, and in Montreal there's influences from France, because they speak the same language, or Belgium, and of course North American tradition of comics. So there's a bit of a blending in Quebec, so it's a bit different than what you would see in France or what you would see in the rest of North America. I also started an imprint to publish graphic novels by these Francophone Quebecois people, many of which are in my catalog. Feel free to browse my website and look at all those books. But one of the original people that I published back in, actually one of the first books I ever did in 1997, was by Billy Mavreas, who is a Montrealer, lifetime Montrealer. And I'm not, he can speak for himself, but I published, one of the first books I published was a book of posters that he had done for some various shows, spoken word shows. And then we did another book called Overlords of Bleed with some experimental comics and things. So I've invited him from Montreal to come today as part of our tour. Sherwin also came from Montreal, and by the way, thanks to Sherwin, that was wonderful. So I'm going to introduce Billy, old friend and compatriots and fantastic cartoonist from Montreal, and he's going to tell you about his work. Come on up, Billy.
I met Andy, we were living together, and I was making spot illustrations for fanzines and rock posters and spoken word posters. And I started getting my stuff into some of the smaller, weirder French underground fanzines in Montreal in the mid-90s. And living with Andy, I was bringing all this stuff home and sharing, talking with Andy about the lit scene and the comic scene and all this kind of thing. And getting into these zines, I had to actually start challenging myself to not make spot illustrations or just splash pages, but try to make actual narrative. I was also kind of drunk with this kind of potentiality of comics as an international storytelling medium, something that you don't need language to tell a story with. You don't need to use text. And this kind of was all heady and, you know, that kind of like the ridiculous enthusiasm of youth and all that. So I started maybe trying too hard sometimes. This page was something that I did for a Quebec anthology, and of being of Greek descent and being raised in an English language milieu, comics in Montreal was a fantastic meeting point, because people just, if you love comics and you love weird comics, it doesn't matter whether you're French or English, everybody's sharing it and tripping out on each other's stuff. Okay, this one was a story that I was thrilled because I hardly planned it, and it really turned out well. It has words, it has bunnies, it has humans in it. I tend not to draw humans because when I draw humans, I tend to draw very creased and pained elderly male faces. I'm of Greek descent, by the way. And my father and his pained elderly face is probably a big influence on me. That doesn't look like my dad up there. But, so this little bunny is helping out this guy in the park while the child finds something very interesting. And mom is saying, looks like a magic something or other. And you can see the Charlie Brown motif on mom's purse. I don't know if I've added another page in this story. Let me go next and see. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, a tad later. So he's taking it home. Mom is doing her dinner stuff. Go wash up, honey. And the thing opens up, and he has a portal to another world. Meanwhile, the bunny is still talking to the kind of down and out gentleman in the park. And says, every one of us, a miracle of creation. So, hold on a sec. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, what is it? Kid found portal, right on schedule, click. That's what I want to hear. And what happens is that, okay, can we next? Oh, okay, go back. Please, thank you. So what happens in the story is that the kid found the portal and was asked by some sort of bunny trickster god figure if the child could spare just a little bit of enthusiasm to help the down and out guy in the park get back on his feet again. And the kid says, you know what, he's got energy to spare, so he just leaked out a little bit, and then and the man is basically on his way to a renewed middle age. So that's a little bit about my work and my journey as somebody who makes comics. And thanks for listening.
Sarah can be seen at a variety of venues, small and large. She is no stranger to this stage. And one of her favorite projects is the Bluesmobile 15-piece dance band, and Sarah is their female singer. You can find Sarah all over social media and online, and she has her new CD called Capacity here tonight. She is selling. She's going to do some songs, past, present, future, for us. I have been a fan of Sarah's for many years, and I am honored to call her my friend, and I'm very happy that I'm here tonight to see her perform. Ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Pand.
Well, it's wonderful to be here tonight. Thank you for those of you who've shared already. It's amazing to get inside your heads for a moment and to see other fellow humans who are diving into the creative process and committing to that and sticking with it when it makes sense and even when it doesn't make sense. So thank you. Because you've shared so deeply, I thought I'd share maybe a little bit about my process of writing and the different ways that I approach songs. So this first song is about this place. It's called Water Changes Me. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.
Round, everybody. We need 2 microphones for this final presentation tonight. I would like to introduce Chris Burton and Alexander Forbes, who are childhood friends who trained in separate disciplines in order to reunite as adults and make comic books. Alexander Forbes is an artist and graduate of NASCAD, and Chris Burton is the author of the short story collection Bad Things Happen. They are both from Lincoln, New Brunswick, and now they both live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and they are here tonight to do a talk and present their work, which is not on the board right now, but I have it right here, The Case of the Missing Men. I'm so excited for this presentation because I am Hardy Boys freak. Hardy Boys and Elves, ladies and gentlemen, you have something against me now. It is bad, it's a bad addiction. But anyway, this book is really, really super cool, and I'm happy to have Chris and Alex here tonight to tell us all about it. Please welcome Chris Burton and Alexander Forbes.
Hi, I'm Chris Burton.
And I'm Alex Forbes.
Yeah, and this is my best friend, going all the way back to 1990, I think.
Yeah, around there. He's no longer my best friend, but no, we have a good thing going. Yeah.
Tell him how we met.
We at the back of the book, Chris wrote a beautiful little paragraph of acknowledgments, and at the very end of it, he thanks a guy named Tony Von Richter, who was a friend of mine in kindergarten. And I think I was fairly overbearing of a friend. And the first day of first grade, we happened to be in the same class, we got lucky. And he was like, "Hey Alex, this is Chris Jan. He draws and writes too. He draws. Yeah, I mean, this guy." And he like pawned me off on Chris.
And he was like, "You two should be friends now." And because we were 6, we were both like, "Okay, we're friends now."
Yeah, that's how it works. So we started drawing together and, immediately had a good thing going. And I've been this guy's burden ever since, rather than Tony Von Richter.
That's true. That's true. And so the third pillar of what we're doing here is folk literature, folk ethnography. Something I was really, really obsessed with for a long time, but that didn't work its way in here until we got together, was a lot of writing about Nova Scotia folklore. So fairies and forerunners and strange lights in the forest that lead you into a bog and underground caverns that go on forever. This isn't a really. Do you want to talk about this illustration? This is his illustration.
Yeah, this was in Carousel. They have a series of different artists do just like 4-panel strips, and this was ours. And we decided just to take 4 non-existent books and kind of hint at a narrative between them. And it's loosely related to our book, or actually, not so loosely, but you can look at these and actually probably gain some insight that you wouldn't really get from the actual narrative that you would see in the actual series.
And so all that culminates in this. Alexander, this is a great little picture of a yard sale in rural Hobtown, our fictional village.
And one thing that's important to me too is to have a story that allows a lot of time for you to get a sense of setting. I feel like maybe you don't really see that as much in sort of like a North American comics, but it's something that like Japan, they spend a lot of time just to let you sit in a setting, and we really try to do that because really when it comes down to it, the town is really the main character of this story.
And just see here sometimes.
Yeah, especially we didn't mention one actually pretty important thing as far as those kind of little cultural things go. The story takes place in the mid-90s, which was, you realize when you start to write something like this and work on it, and you think about the way people were, especially in small town Nova Scotia before everybody had the internet, it was quite different. The reason we did put it in the 90s was actually mostly just because we didn't want them to have cell phones.
I wanted them to have like Dawson's Creek hair and letters. That's what I wanted. Slide. So this is the funnier of the two brothers. This is Denny. Here he is squishing his face, and this is such a great drawing. It's so expressive. It's him showing off his braces and how bored he is. You can go. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So slide. So Danny, the people who have read this already almost universally say that he's their favorite character, and I think it's because of a lot of the work that you did. He is very, very expressive and very funny. Slide. And he also has a penchant for seeing things that he shouldn't. And his brother is maybe more of a straight man. He's somebody who wants to grow up to be a cop. He's more of the hardy boy than the other one. He's always looking out for his brother who failed the 11th grade. And now they're both in the same grade, even though they're not supposed to be. Slide. I looked at a bunch of those windows where those guys live. It sucked. Slide. I'm getting a hot dog.
The cafeteria isn't open yet.
Slide.
They give dogs for free. It isn't open.
Slide. And of course, he serves a really important role, which is that he keeps everyone together. He's sort of the clown, but he really does care what everyone else is feeling, thinking, and doing. And there's several times where things start to fall to pieces, but he's the one who sort of is the glue to their friendship. Slide. Slide. And so Brennan's sort of our tough guy. And this is the panel where he stands up to the police officer who's been interrogating him. Slide.
Spoiler alert.
Slide. Slide. And here he is being quite heroic. Slide. Is that it?
I think that's it. Yep.
Okay, and we have a little 2-minute trailer with spooky Halloween noises to show you now.
To round off the evening, I'd like Andy to come back up to say some closing words, wherever he is. Yeah, that's you. Andy Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello. Yeah, I don't much to say. Thank you all for coming. Some great presentations. I'm sure you'll all agree. Sherwood Teacher, Billy McReyes, Kristen Alexander, Sarah Pound, actually some snacks and drinks, so everyone stick around for a little bit. And I'd also like to thank our lovely host, my brother. And yeah.